Board of Education meeting for June 13th, 2017. We've had a meeting previously, so there's no need to call a roll call. I ask that everybody stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on with tonight's agenda, the first item is the approval of the minutes. Has everybody reviewed the minutes, and are there any changes to it? I have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 25th, 2017 meeting.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any additions to the agenda that they would like or deletions? Hearing none, I'd ask for a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Moving on to board reports, the legislative reports are the first.
on that, pulling that information together, but we haven't gotten all those quotes back. We do have Liberty Mutual and Ohio School Plan have given us quotes for that, but we don't, there's probably at least 2 or 3 other ones that we haven't received, and so I haven't.
When does it renew?
It's at June 30, so we will not meet again until after it lapses, so I will have to be able to enter into some agreement for that.
So you're looking for his authorization?
Authorization, yep, to enter into an agreement for that.
Let's move that, we'll have that separately and move on that now. Have a motion to give chairman the authority to enter into a property and liability insurance policy for the fiscal year 18, giving the lowest bid and best bid.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It is approved.
Jeremy, on the student accident
Yes,
insurance, does that cover varsity athletics?
it does. Yeah, there's actually, and then the football's a little bit separate. So there's a chart in here, and it just depends on the sports and stuff. But football, there's a per player, and you can pick. That's $136 to $272, depending on if you want the low version or the high version of the coverage for grades 10 through 12. It says including grade 9 if playing or practicing with grades 10 through 12. So that's just one example of, there's just football only coverage, there's 24-hour coverage, and then there's school time coverage. I'm trying, but the computer's not wanting to cooperate. Temporary, we have the appropriations for FY17. So in the past, we authorized the treasurer to make the necessary appropriation adjustments as listed to finalize the account for the June 30, 2017. It's further recommended that the files, that he file these adjustments with Miami County Auditor as required, and including the listing with the official record of proceedings for the Board of Education for the month of June 2017. Because we're meeting on June 13th, and I can't close the fiscal year until after June 30th actually occurs, I needed the authorization to be able to close the fiscal year. The next one is to approve temporary appropriations. Every year we approve our temporary appropriations at 50% of the previous year, and then in September I bring you back our final budget for the year. The next thing is to authorize the treasurer to invest funds for the district for the fiscal year 18. And the last thing on the agenda is to approve the board service fund for FY18.
Does anybody have any questions regarding anything on the treasurer's agenda? Have a motion to approve the treasurer's agenda.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Will the treasurer call the roll, please?
Mr. Bostic.
Aye.
Mr. Gregerson.
Aye.
Mr. Patrizio.
Aye.
Mr. Height.
Aye.
Mr. Luby.
Aye.
And item is passed, and we'll move on to the superintendent's agenda. Mr. Thompson?
We have a curriculum director that would like to use a new resource at the high school, so he'd like to share a little bit of that with you and get your approval.
Good evening. Real quickly, 4 books that we're proposing to use at the high school level, all in the English Language Arts Department. The first 3 will be used with seniors only. The first 2 of those are actually focusing on human trafficking. They're on the recommended reading list from the Attorney General. The Attorney General's Office of Ohio actually has a subcommittee that is focused on human trafficking because it's become so prevalent, even in, you don't think Ohio this would happen, but it does. It's actually happened locally. And they recommend that we start to get this information out to students, how this happens and how this affects families. It's also, we'll do that in conjunction with the University of Dayton. They have a human rights initiative there. We'll use their curriculum to help support that. The books we propose to use were actually written by someone who was in human trafficking for years. She's a nationally known author and has brought this to the attention of pretty much a global audience. And again, those will be used with seniors who are about to enter into that adult world. The third book also will be used with seniors. It's called Where Am I Wearing? It's by an author named Kelsey Tinnerman. He's pretty well known. He actually tracks where the clothes and things that students buy originate, and sometimes the human cost behind some of the things that they buy at the mall or online, where that comes from. Our plans with that is to twofold. He's very open to working with schools that utilize his text. We will Skype and work with the author on that as the kids work through that. And we'll also do that in conjunction with another school district so that the kids can have dialogue back and forth. The fourth book is it's an oldie, but a goodie. It's on mythology. It's going to be used with 9th graders. It's new this year. It was first published in 1946. Edith Hamilton is the author, and it is a synopsis and a pretty wide look at the different Roman and Greek gods. It helps set the setting for a lot of the literature that the students will work with as 10th and 11th and 12th graders. No real controversy with any of these. They're fairly well known and utilized in schools across the state and the nation. So, thank you.
Does anyone have any questions of Mr. Bloom? I have a motion to approve Mr. Bloom's request.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And the curriculum has been approved.
Thank you.
The books have been. And then it says other, but there's nothing.
Under other, just a quick note that our graduation went very well. Super proud of all the students. Great scholarship dollars. The speeches were wonderful. The music was great. And we literally finished and people started walking, and I think a few raindrops started falling. So it was just a great evening. And we talked at the last meeting about approving those students to graduate, and it just couldn't have worked better. So good job on our students' behalf.
I really like how it moved along this year. I think some of the changes that were made should be made permanently. So,
Mr. Messick and his team did a great job. So.
I heard several positive comments about the students being able to invite a teacher up that had an impact on them. Do people like that?
Mike already took photos of each one of those and put them out to see, and that he really captured that moment. They were great photos.
moving on to the superintendent's agenda.
Recommend board approval of the attached list of donations. Some donations made to our sports programs as well as some future scholarships for students. Recommend board approval of the attached list of grants. I think this year we had over $41,000 in grants that teachers wrote. These grants tonight come from the Piqua Education Foundation, Piqua Community Foundation, and the Miami County Foundation. So great programming coming to our students because of their support of us, so we appreciate that. Recommend board approval of the attached list of technology items for disposal and removal from the inventory of Piqua City Schools. As always, our technology department really goes through that and scours out the resources that they can keep, and they'll discard the rest of it. So recommend the board approval for the student handbooks for 2017-2018 school year. Those are for the Piqua Junior High School. We just have one left, and we'll get that on the next board agenda. Recommend board approval of the attached staff handbooks for 2017-2018 school year, and that's it.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions regarding any item on the superintendent's agenda? Motion to approve the superintendent's agenda.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The agenda is approved. Moving on to personnel agenda.
Mr. Lyons continues to work with principals and teachers on hiring. We're down to just a few left, and there's a long list here of some people that are coming and going in our district. One that I would highlight would be Mr. Deal, Mr. Mark Deal, who has been a custodian in our district for over 23 years. And having personally worked with him and just seeing the impact he has, they don't get any better than Mr. Deal. He had a really great retirement, and he's been, I think, about 4 different buildings, and people came from every building and really recognized him. So it's great to have people like that, and sad to see them go. Otherwise, I recommend that the board approve the list personnel agenda as slated.
Very good. Does anybody have any questions about anything on the personnel agenda? I'd ask for a motion to approve the personnel agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
In old business, we have the second read and final approval of the Neola Board policies from March 17th, 2000, or the special update. Revised policies are as follows: 3217, 4217, and 7217. May I have a motion to approve the changes?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
In new business, one item that's not on the agenda is a nomination form, and this nomination form is for Ohio school board members. Each year, the OSBA asks board members to nominate a board member who has served the organization or the board in an extraordinary capacity. And may I have a nomination to have Mr. Luby nominated for this award?
So moved.
A motion,
I'll
second.
second that.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. Good luck. I'm going to pass that on.
Yeah.
And then we'll move on to new business. Do you want to discuss the other new business?
Sure.
Sure. The first thing that we have on here tonight is the agreement between the Piqua Board of Education and the City of Piqua. This agreement allows the city to give to us franchise fees that are collected to operate what used to be the old TV station, WOTVC. And the district has acquired the equipment and working towards getting everything in place to be able to kick that off in full force at the beginning of the year. We're still updating and keeping it current as we speak, but by the first of the year, we'll be putting our own programming on. We've already hired the station manager, and he'll start August 1st, but he's been doing some stuff in the meantime. This just allows the city to give us $60,000 a year to be able to do that out of franchise fees that are collected. And the first year is $45,000 because the TV station initially received $15,000 of that already this calendar year. The second thing that we have on there tonight is a recommendation for the board to approve the resolution declaring it a necessity to levy a tax in excess of a 10 mil limitation. It is time to renew the operating levy that we have in place that collects about $2 million annually, and that will be on the ballot in November if this is passed, and this allows us to get that process started so we can get paperwork filed with the county and start working towards that process of getting that back on the ballot.
And just to be clear, this is not a new tax, this is a renewal.
Correct. It's been in place since 2003, renewed every 5 years successfully. Really appreciate the community doing that, as it does bring $2 million into our budget. It goes all toward operations, stays here in the local community, and covers things like classrooms, staffing, programming we do, transportation, utilities, buildings and grounds, maintenance, all those important things that keeps this district top quality. So it's a great piece for us, and it's necessary.
By passing this today, we are looking at having this renewed, hopefully renewed in November. It will be on the November ballot.
Correct.
We ask for everyone to support us in our endeavors to get this passed. I have a motion to approve the two items on the new business.
I have one comment
Okay.
on the
Sure.
renewal. We need to really underline that no new money, because as soon as people see the word operating levy, they immediately recognize or feel that we're asking for more money. So somehow, when we start a campaign and promote this, no new money in italics or boldface, where we want to, whatever term we want to use, I think that's critical.
Yep, and we've got the toppers that say renewal on them. And we do have just two levies that we are constantly in that cycle of repeating every 5 years, which is this is the operating levy, and then the PI levy comes. And they're just in that repeating cycle, and they're just renewals. We're not asking for anything additional, so.
Well, I
Yep.
think it's important too. You mentioned it was first started in 2003. We're operating, a system on that money.
Yeah.
So we've been very economical,
Yeah,
very
we've
efficient
not-
with the dollars.
We've not come back since then to ask for more, and we're, with the approval tonight, we'll start the campaign and get a committee together, and we'll do a frequently asked questions site, but we'll provide some information as to how we've saved money over the years and what we've done, so that we can not have to go back and ask for additional funds. So we do appreciate the community support with that.
Saying that, we have a motion to approve these two items on the new business.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No one is opposed.
We have somebody that snuck in, and we don't want her to go unnoticed. So I'm going to ask, we have one new hire tonight, so I'd like to ask her to come up and introduce herself. Tell us who you are and why we're excited to have you.
Hi, my name is Barbara Woolley, and I'm excited to be on staff at Piqua High School. I'm coming by way of Dayton Public for a year, but 25 years in Tampa, Florida, where I'll be teaching French up here. So thank you so much, and thank you for welcoming me into this family. I really feel like I'm appreciated and cared about, so it's a nice feeling. So thank you so much.
Welcome. And this is a perfect example of when they did the interviewing. The curriculum director, Mr. Messick, Tony, all came to me and said, you know, I'm going to be so mad if you don't hire this person. Like, you've got to get this person right here. So.
I think it was within 15 minutes, we were all like, how do we get this done?
So it was great to meet with her and talk with her. So we're excited.
Thank you.
Well, it's nice to have you aboard. Welcome to Piqua. Now, your first George West is going somewhere, and he needs to know some quick French for his trips. No, good luck next year, and I hope you enjoy it. It's a great school.
Well, so far it's really made a big impression on me, so very,
Well, welcome to
you're
Piqua.
very welcome. Thank you so much.
Who's with you?
I'm sorry, this is my husband, Craig. He's the reason we're up here in Florida.
It's my fault that we're
He's from Florida here, really?
This weather is better than
This is
Florida.
beautiful.
People are saying today it's hot out and it's gorgeous. Keep the sweater on.
Always.
Well, welcome again, and it's nice to have both of you here. Are there any other items? Our next meeting is Thursday, July 27th at 2017 at 5 p.m. and it will be at this location again. And we look forward to seeing you then. Other than that, the meeting is adjourned.
You made it in.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't pretend.